From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
Time for Campo's Corner here on the Horse's Mouth. At Tommy Max, of course, at my bar. We got a special treat for you this time around because we're going to talk about a legendary coach, other than Coach Campo, who's done some tremendous work here
You're
in
a
the
legend.
community.
You're still with
And
us.
up in Jersey, of course, it's Coach Tom Coughlin and the J Fund. Gary Chartrand is here, Brian Sexton is here, and Coach Dave Campo. They've all been a part of it, as have I. And we're going to talk a little J Fund and Coach Coughlin here at the bar. Gary, how are you, my man?
I'm great,
Good
Tom.
to see you,
Nice
brother.
to see you.
Brian,
Good to see you. How are
always
you?
a pleasure. Coach,
Tommy.
welcome back. Norm,
Yes,
how you doing?
I'm the Norm. I'm the bar fly of this group.
You sure you're not Cliff?
Yeah, well, that's true.
Well, we all are very close with Coach Coughlin over the years. We've gotten to know him, become really good friends with him. Brian, you and I have known him forever, it
Long
seems.
time.
You know, look, we all believe he should be a Hall of Fame coach, right? In the Hall of Fame. He is a Hall of Famer to us. But what he's done off the field with the J Fund and all the families, I mean, you've seen it firsthand.
Well, he's a
just
Hall of Fame
absolute
human
joy.
being, right?
Without
And I don't know that I can say that about a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'll say this with no disrespect to any other Jaguars coach. He is the only coach that the Jaguars have ever had who left a legacy behind, who did an event, right? Jack. None of the other guys have ever done anything that has endured even during their tenure, let alone the span of the Jaguars. So, this is the 29th Tom Coughlin, J Fund Gala. You were there the night that it started around the pool.
Yeah,
with,
96.
50 guys, most of them your teammates at the lodge.
Marina was there.
Yeah,
Remember that? It was like, holy cow.
Yeah,
Marino's
he's
here, that's
here.
pretty cool.
And what it's become is, I think Kelly said they raised $50,000 or $60,000 that first year, and it's become and you know better than most. I think last year $4.9 million distributed. $4.9 million from a coach, his board, his daughter, his vision, based on who Jay McGillis was, and you obviously can tell that story.
Yeah, absolutely, Jay, phenomenal. Gary, you've been around forever, man. This is very near and dear to your heart as well.
Tom came to me when I was still working at Acosta and explained the J Fund to me and asked for our support to the golf tournament and whatnot. And how do you say no? I mean, kids with cancer. I mean, there's nothing worse than that.
Right.
So we jumped on board, and we've been a big sponsor. Acosta had been for years. And then I joined his board, and we did an endowment. That was kind of fun. I said, Tom, you're not going to be around forever.
Which I'm sure you
Yeah.
wanted to argue with him.
You want to argue, yeah.
Probably make a compelling one, too.
And you're not always going to have the celebrity status and the fame and all that, and you're going to ride off into the sunset. And so we need to do something to make sure this thing is sustainable. So we said, let's start an endowment.
Yeah.
And so we went out and we raised $5 million over about a year's time, and we haven't touched it up until last year. I think we just took a little bit of draw from it, but I think it's a little over $20 million.
Oh, right.
Because we
That's
invested
fantastic.
it.
I remember that you guys put that together.
Yeah.
That's
So that
awesome.
means that the J Fund's going to be around for forever.
Well, just to point out that real quick, and sorry, Dave, but
No, go ahead.
the reality of it is that when Tom left after the 2002 season, the J Fund could have disbanded. It could have
right.
it could have
We were
written its funds
concerned,
off. Yeah, it could have decided, well, we're going to go wherever we're going next.
Right.
It ended up going there, but it stayed here,
Yep.
and it has grown year over year over year. He hasn't been the coach here in 23 years, which sounds so weird to say,
does.
Yeah.
right? But his presence, and we all know the strength of his personality
Absolutely.
and the determination with which he does everything.
Yep.
Gary, goes to what you said. I mean, it's over 20 million, and it will live in perpetuity to benefit kids and families with childhood cancers.
No doubt. I know you got involved right away, Coach.
Yeah, I did. And again, obviously, kids' cancer was number one, but Tom Coughlin was number two. I spent many years playing against him and saw the discipline he had and all the things there. I told him the first time I got back, I said, Tom, look, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame eventually.
Yep.
But you're already in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
period, just like you said,
Hall of
Brian.
Fame
I mean,
human
to be able to do what he's done and to have it work in both in Jacksonville and New York.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he's done it in both places.
Sure
and
has.
that's fantastic. And I just love playing in the tournament. The guys that he has coming back at the gala, fantastic.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, Jay was that kind of kid. He'd do anything for anybody. You know, the good egg. Remember that? Well, he's a good egg. You say it up north a lot, right?
Yeah.
Jay McGillis was a good egg, man. He did nothing wrong. Like, I was a delinquent. He went home every night. He was a good boy.
Yeah,
He didn't do
you
anything.
were out.
Didn't get
You were
fights.
out.
He was
Yeah.
good, but he was a great player. And he was close to everybody on the team. Everybody loved Jay. And when he got sick, it was really devastating. And we thought he was going to make it because the bone marrow, I think it was Michael, his older brother, was a match. And then it didn't take. And then he passed 2 weeks later. And we were just devastated. We you know, for a lot of us, I mean, my grandmother died when I was a senior in high school. But other than that, never really experienced that. Didn't understand why a young kid that did nothing wrong is being taken away from us. But what Coach has done in his honor and his family's honor, because he saw it firsthand. He go visit the family. He go visit the hospital. He go see how the family was dealing with one, you know, parent not having to work anymore to be there. You know, family coming in, his sister sleeping next to him. You know, just everybody being there. And that's what the slogan is: be there, right, for these families. And it's just a tremendous thing what he's done. I mean, it's me and my BC buddies talk about it all the time. It's amazing what he's done for with and for our teammate Jay McGillis. What the amount of lives they've touched. Is
Well, you know, the great leaders have empathy. They care about the guys that they're with. I think when I look back, and I'm not putting myself in Tom Coughlin's by any stretch of the imagination, but the one thing I miss more about coaching is the players, the people you're around. And that's something that you really, he proved that. There's no question about it.
You know, I was with him, Gary. You're with him all the time too, so you can appreciate this. I was with him, and he was sharing the story with a prospective celebrity, you know, donor or person that he was introducing it to. And this guy had been up in New York, and he knew the Giants, so they were talking Super Bowl, and you know, this play on third down, and the helmet catch, and what Belichick was doing, and then seamlessly transitioned without losing an ounce of the passion to the story of McGillis and the J Fund. And we would be remiss if we didn't say what the J Fund really does in being there is they make it so that families don't have to worry about how they're going to pay their bills.
That's right.
Tom talks with incredible passion, as does his daughter Kelly, about making sure there's food on the table, that there is mortgages paid. No one
Transportation.
absolutely. And it is a bedrock feature of the medical community in North Florida. It is part of the fabric of this community. And I would dare you to go and look in every NFL city and find a former coach who has built something this strong, this lasting.
There is.
In the great markets, in the New Yorks, the Dallas, the LAs, the Chicagos, maybe there's something like it, but nothing greater than what Tom and his family and his board have created with the J Fund.
Yeah, no question about it. How about Tom as a person, other than being a great guy, Gary? You spent a lot of time with him. Is he funny? I know what he's like, but in the audience,
Is he funny?
Does he have any jokes?
Well,
Like,
if you want
does
a
he
good laugh,
laugh?
go play golf with him. Oh, he's going to see this?
I'm going to make sure he sees it now. I always like to say that he's funny at your expense because he can tell those biting little quips and jokes, and you're like, what? What did I do? Right? And he is funny.
He's a really great human being.
He really is. He really is.
And we've been friends for a long time. And I think what he's doing with the J Fund, cancer, kids with cancer, that's, you know, his legacy, right, 2 Super Bowls, whatever. But that's equal. It's as equal, or maybe even better, of what he's been able to do for the community.
I played one of the tournaments I played in. He was standing on the 17th tee. I had a Dallas Cowboy visor on.
Oh boy!
So I line it up and I take a shot. It goes about 10 feet, in front of me. So he looks at me and goes, "Campo, it's that hat, but at least you didn't go in the water."
There you go.
Kept it dry.
There's no one like him.
No, there isn't. And I'll tell you what, I know he's old school, but I appreciated his coaching style because it was always consistent. It was fair.
That's another
it
leader.
was hard.
That's another leader.
It was honest. You didn't always like what he said, but he'd give it to you straight. But the one thing people, I don't mean to cut you off, he would come up to you. You'd be walking to practice, and he'd kind of like just slide his arm in and be like, "Hey, that was a great day yesterday. Let's do it again." And you'd be like,
He'd crawl on broken glass for him.
But he would. He would come up to you and be like, "You had a great game. Do it again." You're like, whatever it was. But then he'd rip you if you screwed up in practice.
Well, here's the greatest testament to what you just said. All those players that used to, right? I know, because my microphone caught a lot of it, right? In the locker room through those years. But all of them, if called, would sit on his back porch, right, to talk football. Because that's what you talk about. The older players and older coaches, you want to sit on the porch and tell stories. Yeah, you remember that night in Cincinnati where we were down by 2 touchdowns. The people that will line up, the players that will line up to be in his presence today were the laundry list of guys who groused about him when they played for him. But that's because, like you, they value what he meant to them.
That first spring, remember Dexter McNabb, the running back?
Dexter McNabb.
He sat down next to me after a spring practice. It was like uppers, and it was hot. We did conditioning, all that, and we're still in gear, sitting in the lockers. He goes, "You chose to come here?" And I was like, "Hey, this is my last shot, so I could care what happens." And B, this is nothing compared to Boston College. He's like, "Get out of here." I'm like, "Yeah." BC was harder, trust me. But anyway, then you see the good side, and he's done so many great things. I love the guy. I'll always love Coach Coughlin.
If he calls me and says, "I need you to crawl to my house," I live around the corner. But if you need, I need you to walk crab style, and I would do it, whatever it takes. If he needs something and he's calling, I'm going.
What is the date this year?
May 18th.
May 18th.
May 18th.
For the 29th
For the 29th annual
J Fund.
And proud to say
it's one of the best events every single year.
And the dinner the night before is great.
No, the dinner and the golf.
The dinner's on the 18th. The golf is on the 19th.
Yeah.
But and listen, and we can't let it go without saying that he hired Kelly. You hired Kelly. The board hired Kelly, and she took it to a completely different level.
No doubt.
In 30 years, I've hosted nearly every big event in this town. There's nothing that beats that.
No doubt.
Nothing. And I tell people when they're starting events, do you know Kelly Coughlin? No, you need to. Because you need to see what the pinnacle looks like. The top of the mountain is the J Fund.
No doubt about it. Thanks, fellas, for being here. May 18th, tcjfund.org. Is that correct still?
Yes.
I believe it is correct. So go to tcjfund.org and see all about the information for May 18th for the weekend, Sunday and Monday. The dinner's phenomenal. The golf's phenomenal. And if you can do it, man, it's a great cause. And you're going to see some, not Coach Campo, not Gary, you're going to see these guys, but you're going to see some really big NFL celebrities, and every year you're always in awe of who's there. So it's always a great time. Until next time, y'all stay safe out there, and you stay cool, and give when you can, because we are a giving community here in Jacksonville. That is for damn sure. We'll see you next time, right here on the Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
Foodies Care is a nonprofit organization here started in Jacksonville, Florida. Our mission is to support other nonprofits realize and carry out their missions. We're trying to simplify that process to have a local body that's here on the ground and says, listen, we're going to work with you, we're going to partner with you, we're going to give you the resources that you need to be able to do the work that is needed in this community.